Yo, 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 it's Mac with the Redbird Red Zone podcast, and I'm here to talk everything Arizona Cardinals fantasy football related. Um, After week one, that was brutal. I don't know what else to say about that, but we did get some clarity on a couple things. One, we know Benjamin's the clear cut number two running back. So in dynasty formats, you're going to want to hold on to Benjamin. If you're a diehard Cardinal fan and you're holding on to Darrell Williams for some reason, make sure you cut bait with that. Keontae Ingram, he's a hold, a late hold, long hold, excuse me, in dynasty format. You probably won't see much of him this year. So you're looking forward to next year and beyond. Maybe Keontae Ingram's a guy you can hold on to. As for the wide receiver situation behind Marquise Brown, we know Rondell Moore is going to be out for a second week. Greg Dortch was a man who stepped up. I know we talked about last week. Greg Dortch or Andy Isabella. I said hold on both of them. Don't play either. Let's see how it shakes out. Greg Dortch got the reps. He actually led the Cardinals with 9 targets, 7 catches as well. So in a PPR league, I know somebody who's in a deep league, and they asked me, would you start Greg Dortch PPR league? That is a possible deep flex situation to where if there aren't many options out there, the Cardinals are known for throwing the ball, so that's somebody who you could take a flyer on who's probably available in your league. I know we talked about AJ Green maybe having a decent week last week versus the Chiefs. That did not come to fruition. So you could cut bait with him because we figured maybe him being the lone big body wide receiver out there with DeAndre Hopkins still suspended, he might get some reps. And he had 1 catch, so there are better options out there than AJ Green. Must start options heading into week two. We got Kyler Murray. He was 22 for 34 last week, 193 yards, 2 TDs, no turnovers. So he didn't lead you to a victory per se, but he also didn't really hurt your chances. He still put up decent numbers. He still rushed for over 20 yards. So that's a guy that you still need. You drafted him where you drafted him. You're going to keep running him out there. And against the Raiders, hopefully the Cardinals can clean up some of their deficiencies from week one. James Conner, he's a great RB2. You're going to want to keep running him out there. He only finished with 26 rushing yards. Did have 29 receiving yards and 5 catches. So in a PPR league, that's pretty valuable right there. He's going to be getting targets out of the backfield. We know that. He also scored a touchdown for you. He scored nearly 20 touchdowns last year. So that's just the name of his game. He's going to find the end zone more times than not, seemingly, which is going to just help your fantasy team. So you want to keep running him out there. Marquise Brown, 4 catches for 43 yards. He was probably the most disappointing. He did have a touchdown, but you just figured him joining Kyler Murray again that there would have been a little more fireworks, especially early on. They got a garbage time touchdown, but hopefully they can bring that momentum over into week two from what they did towards the end of game one when they scored that touchdown. So keep running Marquise Brown out there. You got to run him out there, I think. If nothing else, he's an elite flex option or wide receiver two, depending on who you got back out there. Last week we talked about Zach Ertz. Said sit him. He was going to be on a snap count. He did score a touchdown, only had 2 catches, 14 yards. He practiced in full towards the end of this week. So run him out there if you got him. I'd expect him to be much more active than the two catches that he had last week. A red zone threat. And for a tight end, that's what you want. You want somebody who can be a red zone threat and who's kind of a safety blanket. And that's exactly what Zach Ertz is to Kyler Murray. Defensively, IDP, we'll run through these real quick. Jalen Thompson, you're going to run him out there if you need DBs. He had 9 tackles last week. Buda Baker, he's probably also your only other must-start defensive IDP guy. He led the team with 13 tackles, so run him out there. Zaven Collins, keep an eye on, finished with 7 tackles. It's a young guy right there who might be able to help you towards later in the season. Isaiah Simmons was probably the biggest disappointment on defense, finishing with only 3 tackles, got kind of worked by Travis Kelce. Facing Darren Waller this week, so hopefully he can kind of clean it up a little bit. But right now it's kind of a wait and see. If you have him, I'm probably still running him out there though. He's got too talented skill set and ability that you want to run him out there. See if one of those players where he doesn't have a great week one, he can bounce back, have a great week two and beyond. As for J.J. Watt, he's questionable. If you have another option there, I'd probably go with that. He might be on a snap count if he plays. So, but again, I'm Mac with the Redbird Red Zone podcast and doing everything all Cardinals fantasy football. So thanks for joining me, and I'll be here next week.